Okay, we're here with Shomit Ghose from Onset Ventures. Could you please introduce yourself to the viewers of Sprout?
Sure thing. So yeah, I'm Shomit. I'm with the Silicon Valley venture fund called Onset Ventures. We invest in early stage deals, primarily in the software and medical device space. I'm on the software side, and I've been doing that for about 18 years and spent about an equal amount of time prior to that as an entrepreneur, doing all sorts of things at different startups and participating in a few exits.
Okay, and what was your impression of the Dutch group today?
I actually loved the Dutch group. As I mentioned in my closing remarks there, I was impressed by the fact that they're bringing real solutions to real problems. And the real solutions are built on kind of heavy-duty technology, so it's very difficult to replicate. And the real problems that are being addressed are very large. So I was really impressed by both the quality of the entrepreneurs and also with the company ideas that they had.
Okay, so during your own presentation, you mentioned that the future is data. What do you mean with that?
So my view is I have a very strong and almost a religious view on this, which is that data defines the future. So everything going forward will be redefined by the underlying data signature. So I think no matter what product you might have, the product itself needs to have a large component that is data. And a couple of companies that are really exemplifying this today are companies like Google and Amazon, who are upending every industry, every business with data as a platform.
And as a perhaps a bit smaller company, it's also possible to disrupt the bigger ones with data. And how do you do that?
Yeah, I think it's possible, no matter what your size, to create your own proprietary data stream, and importantly also to syndicate that with additional outside data streams that might come from elsewhere, which is exactly what Amazon and Google have done. They do it on a much larger scale. But if you begin with a proprietary data stream, you can actually compete with those larger companies. But you need to compete with them using the same tactics that they do, which is using data as a weapon.
So you mentioned the difference between mechanics, that's like basically the product or a physical product, and the semantics, or how you actually understand data. Why is that difference so important?
So I think historically we had products, whether it was software or something else, which were mechanics based, which were what is the functionality that something provides. And what we're seeing today is that the mechanics layer actually produces the underlying layer, which is the semantics layer, which is what sense do we make of the data that's there. So you think of a company like Google, they have a mechanics layer which includes search, which includes maps, etc. But the power of their business is in the semantics. What do they do with the data that they collect from the mechanics layer? And the same is true with Facebook, same is true with Amazon, etc. So I think it's very important for startups to have that same realization, knowing that mechanics by themselves are not sufficient. No matter what that product might be, hardware, software, whatever, the fundamental and persistent value will lie in the semantics layer, which is how you make sense of the data that you create and collect.
And finally, just make sure that you keep your own data proprietary, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have a proprietary data source, then it'll be very difficult to keep larger players out of your space. So you need to have a proprietary data source, and that will become the differentiator which allows you to go forward and compete as an equal with those bigger players.
Thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you very much.